Dear students, good afternoon. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 20th October 2020. The first article for discussion is Love in the Time of Polarization. This article is written in the context of recent trolling of advertisement by Tanishq Jewelers. Let us examine it from various perspectives. One is respect for an individual choice. The second is how the voice is getting curtailed due to this trolling. Third, business freedoms of that commercial establishment. In these three dimensions, we can explore. Compatibility is essential for marriage. Compatibility between two individuals can happen due to class, education, and their temperament, etc. Here, the trollers have seen this just as a difference in religion. And a Hindu woman marrying to a Muslim boy, which is been named as love jihad. Keeping that aside, this ad has celebrated intercommunal harmony. Not just intercommunal harmony, but also love, marriage, individual choice, egalitarian family that respects the woman, all these things. So, the people, the reactive people who have trolled this, they have not only spoken about intercommunal marriage, they also showed their resentment against all these values. Next, economic freedom of an enterprise is essential in a capitalistic world. So, trolling and vandalizing the showrooms of this particular jewelry shop goes against the freedom of business. So in India, a minority section of people who has online presence and indoctrinated by XYZ, or there is a trolling industry that is developed, all these are disrupting the voice of the people. That is the essence of this article. The next article is the NEET challenge. So NEET is a common entrance test for medical colleges in India. Many of the states have opposed when NEET has come into existence. It is one single examination for all medical colleges. Previously, every state has its own entrance exam. Students were expected to take multiple entrance examinations. This hassle is gone now. There is uniformity in testing. Standards and quality of selection has improved. But is diversity taken into consideration is the question. Let us take. A student gets selected from Andhra Pradesh and he gets a seat in Tamil Nadu. When he goes to hospital while interacting with the patient, obviously he is expected to speak in local language to elicit symptoms from that individual, to understand symptoms from that individual. Don't you think it creates an obstacle to learning to this individual? Yes. Second are the questions of equity in access and affordability. Remember, poor and marginalized who have a sense of service shall not be denied their access to education. In India, private coaching has become very expensive. How to handle this affordability issue? In this case, Tamil Nadu government has provided reservations for the students who have studied in government schools and colleges and have written this particular exam. Second, certain states were offering free coaching, free private coaching for the students. They themselves are sponsoring it. So the biggest challenge towards this is providing access and affordability to the students. That is the biggest challenge. Next is the sorry plight of the Andhra Pradesh higher judiciary. It is facing many troubles of legitimacy now due to accusations from none other than the chief minister of the state. Few of its judgments also raised eyebrows across the intellectuals, especially the gag orders on the media and not allowing police to investigate certain cases. Keeping this aside, judiciary has to prove itself beyond doubt. In that case, an open inquiry ordered by CJI is essential. That is what this article talks about. Here, a detail of a particular case is been given, which we don't need to study for our examination. So remember, the purity of the justice and judicial independence have to go together. Judicial accountability and judicial independence, they are two sides of the same coin. So, in the name of judicial independence, we cannot brush aside judicial accountability. The next article is Nitish's claim and Bihar's reality. I'm not talking about Bihar only over here. Let us try to understand the situation of every state in India. Competitive populism has become a norm. Because of this, the financial burden on the state have increased, revenue expenditures of the state have increased. Today, most of the states are borrowing the money to repay the interest rather than to take up some productive capital creation or productive capital expenditure. Second thing, most important thing is the states are more and more dependent on the center like never before. And burden, especially the debt burden of the states has become so enormous, it is threatening the entire fiscal balance of the nation itself. After that, MG Narega enrollments have increased across length and breadth of India. It clearly shows that the unemployment figures have gone up. And third most important thing, especially this is in the context of Bihar, APMCs are first repealed in Bihar. It means government procurement was first stopped in Bihar. What are the outcomes of this? The amount realized by the farmers have decreased, and second, the bargaining power of the farmers rather than being increased have actually decreased. So, the farm bills which are being passed by the parliament, if we go by the example of Bihar, are doing more harm to the farmer rather than good. That is what we can learn from Bihar experience. These are the points. Next is dormant but waiting to strike. During COVID-19, there are no terror attacks anywhere in India. What can be the reason? One is financial flows might have been disrupted. These terror organizations need to be financed by some rich and wealthy. It means COVID-19 has struck the businesses and financial flows are disturbed. Second, free movement of the people and logistics is also being stopped due to various reasons. So that's why the terror attacks might have been stopped. Can we take this for granted? No, they are dormant. Recently, NIA arrested certain Al-Qaeda and Islamic State operating cells. It means that they are dormant and ready to strike when the opportunity arrives. Second, USA is moving out of Afghanistan and Taliban is expected to come to center stage. Along with the Taliban, Al-Qaeda is expected to rise. The third point which has been discussed is Al-Qaeda leadership is gone. Then Al-Qaeda is more or less dead. No, Al-Qaeda is not dead. So just the leadership crisis, if it is been filled in, it is rejuvenated again. So the determined terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, we always need to be cautious about it. That is what Mr. Raghavan is saying. The next article is many gains in fighting HIV. You know HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS. In this case, India has achieved remarkable progress in controlling mother-to-child transmission. To be fair to mother, let it call as parent-to-child transmission. So, what steps India took to achieve this? First is massive testing. India has taken up various innovative practices to test every pregnant woman for HIV. Second thing is treat all. Any person identified with HIV, any woman, immediately treat her so that the transmission to the child can be stopped. Massive testing by treating the all. These are the two things which made India to fight this mother to child transmission. As transmission has decreased, the child deaths related to HIV also have come down in India. Next important thing is the focus was on the districts with high prevalence of HIV. So high burden districts are identified and efforts are maximized in these high burden districts. These are the things. The next article is adapt to the changing nature of jobs. Prime Minister Modi, what he is saying is skilling, reskilling and upskilling. These are the things which are important. National education policy emphasizes on this multi-dimensional approach towards education to bring about fundamental changes. That is what Prime Minister Modi said. He also said the student community to strive for excellence based on their individual strength and ability. So he also suggested out of the box thinking. Do not try to fit into the box. Try to think outside the box. These are the things Prime Minister Modi was talking about. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Rambabu signing off.